everybody, welcome to the stream. I'm going to announce it on Discord. Bum, 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 bum. Hello, hello. Welcome to our Halloween streams. Let's throw that announcement up on Discord. Everyone, we are live. Hello, hello, and welcome, welcome. As always, we're going to give it a minute or two. Let people join us. But today we've got something fun. Looking at an avatar. Still kind of the day in the life. Still kind of what I would do. Hello, hello. I don't know how long I can keep this on. Very shortly. It's very itchy. We are all set. We are live. We will jump into it in just a little bit. Grab. All right. So welcome to the next Behind the Seams. We're going to give it a minute or two. We're going to lose these guys. Well, like I said, very itchy. But it's always fun to start the Halloween streams off. Get the hairs off me. In an outfit. Stick around, see what next week's is. But today, we are going to be looking at, once again, Behind the Seams, Day in the Life. We've got a neat little character here that we're going to try to get dressed and throw that outfit into Unreal. I did some tests this morning, so everything should be working just fine. But with Unreal, there are always bugs, there are always hiccups, so we'll have to see together. Hi there, Ishfamger. What's your question? Sorry, I feel like I got hairs all over my face. Shoot your question. All right, all right. Got that ready, got that ready. Just giving it another second for everybody to join us. Feet or shoes are big. Is there a fix? So, kind of yes, and maybe we'll get a chance to play with it today, so stick around. I'll try to throw some shoes on our character and see if we can't run into the same issue. You have feet are funky. Feet are always going to be funky, so you can either correct the shoes, make them a little bit bigger, use your tools and stuff in the pro version in order to kind of shrink the shoes down to fit the feet a little bit better, or you can use the visibility brush. The visibility brush is another great way to kind of tackle feet, weird feet, especially with high heels. Last stream, we did a little bit of that. We did a little bit of the weird feet and stuff like that. So feel free to hop back into the last stream and look at how we tackled it. But sometimes just hiding the feet and adding the shoes is a really great way to do that. But shoes will always be a little weird because they're usually not sculpted or built with MetaTailor in mind. A lot of people sculpt the inside of the shoes and stuff like that. It just really depends. So if you want me to take a look at it personally, feel free to throw it over on our Discord. I linked it in the chat. I'll be happy to look at it. But yeah, so feet, we'll see if we can't play with feet on our actual character here today to see if we can't jump into it. So, hello everybody, and welcome. Let's go ahead and get started. Great question right off the bat from Ishfamger. So, welcome to today's stream. Today is Behind the Seams episode 2. We've got one more for this month of October before we jump into our Novembers, and what we'll announce what we're doing in November. Love your product. I dropped Marvelous Designer for it. Amazing. I would even recommend you could keep both. Marvelous Designer and Marvelous Designer and MetaTailor work amazing. They mesh together really well. So they go hand in hand. But thank you. It is a fantastic product. So once again, welcome to the MetaTailor live stream. We are here on Saturdays. If we change the schedule, because we toss around trying to find good times, good dates for everybody to see what works for each other, we post that on our Discord. So make sure you join our Discord. I linked it in the chat. Otherwise, if you like videos like this one, make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's jump into it. So today, we're just, once again, I'm showing you my kind of day in the life of using MetaTailor, how I use MetaTailor in my workplace and stuff like that, what I do to do stuff. And today, if we jump over to Desktop Plus Me, we are looking at this fun character. Now, we are in Unreal a little bit today. So as you can see, my camera will get a little jittery, stuff like that, because Unreal is very heavy on the processor and the RAM and stuff like that. I got some nice stuff in my machine here, but we always run into some bugs and hiccups when we're working with Unreal. So we've got this really cool zombie character, and I've got it all uploaded and ready to go in Unreal. So if you need to know those steps, if you don't know those steps, there are some YouTube videos we have, or you can ask us in our Discord channel. Our Discord channel is amazing. It's got people who can support you in anything that you're looking for, specifically MetaTailor. That is our expertise. But if you've got questions about Unreal, Maya, ZBrush, stuff like that, our community is fantastic. Other things on our Discord, besides the near 24/7 support for your questions, is that's where we announce new updates, new changes, new plugins and products that we're putting into MetaTailor. We announce those all onto Discord first, and sometimes we have secret live streams on our Discord for those new products, the new plugins and stuff like that. We'll usually announce it to Discord, show a live stream on Discord first before we come to our YouTube audience. So I highly recommend joining our Discord. So yeah, I've got this zombie uploaded. He's ready to go. All these textures. I'm going to show you a couple ways to load him into MetaTailor and stuff like that. But either way, we're gonna have to start in another program first called Mixamo. Mixamo is amazing. I can't sell you on Mixamo enough. Mixamo is the best way to get our avatars rigged, fast and rigged and ready to go in MetaTailor. Just like I was saying earlier, Marvelous Designer and MetaTailor work perfectly together. Mixamo and MetaTailor work perfectly together. MetaTailor is this hidden missing piece to all these programs to bring everything together. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at first. Let's go ahead and minimize Unreal for now. So I've got my zombie file right here. I'm going to pull up Mixamo, and you can see I just have one of their random characters loaded. I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to go to my source, and here is just a blank FBX of this zombie. All it is a mesh. We could pull up Maya and take a look at it, but it's not really necessary today. I didn't make any changes to this. I just downloaded this straight from Sketchfab as is. It's got its source. It's got its textures right here, just 3 textures, super clean, super easy. But this avatar has no bones, no skinning, no rig. And that's what you're going to find a lot of the time. That's what you're going to find with your ZBrush sculpts and all those other avatars that you're pulling in from. So what we need to do is we need to get bones on it before anything can look at it, before anything can read on it. So I'm going to just take this plain FBX, and I'm going to drop this over into Mixamo. Why did you do that? I need to upload a character first. That's why. Got to hit the actual button. All right. So it takes a moment, it processes it, but it puts this really cool zombie mesh in here. Now we can see the flat kind of 3D model. So I'm going to go ahead and hit next. And with Mixamo, it's going to ask you just a couple questions to place the chin, place your wrists. You want to eyeball these as best you can because this will directly translate over to MetaTailor. Grab the knees and the groin. And hit next. And it takes a minute. But once it's ready to go, it'll be rigged and ready. We can download it. We can throw this into MetaTailor. So we're going to start with the easiest way into MetaTailor. And I'm going to shrink my head down as we get ready to go into MetaTailor and all this other stuff. But this is the easiest way to get it into MetaTailor without needing any Unreal knowledge, without needing any Unity knowledge, Maya knowledge. You download a creature or something, your avatar off of Mixamo, and you need it rigged to bring it into MetaTailor. That's the first path we're going to take. All right, he's all rigged. He's animated. That's amazing. Next, your 3D cube uploaded. Yeah, I'm just saying it's going to delete that other character to upload him. And here he is. You could test animations and stuff on it, but we just want this for its auto rigging purposes. So I've uploaded this wonderful zombie, and now I can go ahead and hit download. It says it's going to put it in T-pose. I want to keep it in its original pose. I don't want Mixamo bending it or anything like that. I want to have it as it is naturally. And I'll go ahead and hit download. All right, so there is this zombie mix. I did this earlier just in case this bugged out, and I'm going to call this zombie Mixamo. And I'm going to close out of this. Now let's fire up MetaTailor. I checked for updates earlier. We should be good to go. And here's our beautiful program. Here's our wonderful, wonderful program. All right, so I've got the newest version. Of course, I've got the secret dev version as well. So yours may look a little bit different than mine. Mine is also the pro version and everything else. So I've got all the bells and whistles. And we're going to be using some of those. And I highly recommend the pro version for anybody who is using MetaTailor more than once a month, because this is amazing. It's got amazing tools and stuff like that you really need to get in and use. So we've got this ready to go. So let's go ahead and just start by going up here and hitting a new project. We want to bring this in. And what's really neat is this new landing page where you can click on new project and you can choose your human size. But right off the bat, I can hit custom avatar import and go over to that zombie right there and grab my zombie Mixamo. We're going to use the one I downloaded. I got my backup just in case, but we're going to use this one and take a look at it. What are we going to call this? We're going to call this zombie MT, because we're going to also do this through Unreal. I want to show you the differences between the two. So we bring this in, we're ready to go, and we have it zombie Mixamo right here. Perfect. We'll call it zombie MT for we're bringing this one in through MetaTailor. You can choose your scale. If it's in a weird pose, you can hit apply pose and it'll kind of put it back to where it's supposed to go, but ours is fine, so I don't have to do anything like that. If it has multiple materials, you can click right here and change those, but I just have those 3 materials, so I just need to go ahead and find those under my source. Oh, not my source, my textures. I was just reading the first thing, my textures, and the first one is base color. Second one is our normals. Last one is our roughness. And he's not looking perfect. Is it because we don't have a lot of saturation or our value? There we go. We can take the saturation down and the value up. There he is. Really gross looking zombie character because it's Halloween times. And let's go ahead and hit next step. If this character came in with clothes, this is called our mesh extractor, a very powerful tool that we can see in action. If you go back to some of our character creator streams, our character creator 4 and character creator 5 streams, the mesh extractor works beautifully with that program. It also works with any character that comes with clothes on already. So if your character comes with an armor set or something like that, you can import that whole avatar in. It'll import all those clothes and you can define where to put all those clothes and it'll pull them off your character and you can use them on any character going forward. So that's a really neat feature with this mesh extractor. Because this is just the zombie, I'm just going to go ahead and come down here and hit next step. All right, so this next part is MetaTailor. It's doing its best to find all these landmarks and hit all these landmarks. So when we're importing an avatar, we just want to go through and double check them. Because it's coming through Mixamo, it's actually going to do a really good job. You can see pretty much everything is perfect, including the nose tip, which if you watched our past streams is sometimes a little bit of a hiccup. And so right here, Ishfamger, we're looking at our feet. So we can see our feet, they should be good, but where these are placed is kind of how the shoes will be created. It's how the shoes will be lined up. So if you're running into issues with the shoes, try maybe moving some of these points around, and that might help you out, kind of land those shoes a little bit better or get those to fit the feet a little bit better, but really pay attention to those points down here. So at the beginning of the stream, Ishfamger, for those of you just joining us, asked us a question. The feet or the shoes end up too big. The feet are a little bit weird. Is there a fix? So under here where you're looking at this is one of the potential areas you can fix first. There's a couple of things you can do, but this is one area you can kind of focus on. Try them closer together. Try them farther apart and see where it lands where you need to. Sometimes when you're doing that, you want to just delete the entire avatar and re-import it. That's a luxury to our pro users only. For our free users, you can absolutely do this, but that's going to use up 1 or 5 of, you only get like 5 exports or something like that, or 5 slots. That can start to use up some of those valuable resources that you have for free. So just be careful with deleting and re-importing or deleting and exporting to try that out. But so you can see right here, we got our heels, we got our toes, everything's looking good, arms are looking good. The only other place I really like to double check is that nose tip, and that one landed perfectly. Look at that. Oh, perfect. All right, so I didn't have to do too many changes with this, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit next step, and it's going to bring in this avatar. And there we go. We've got an avatar that we can go in and get dressed, and we will. We're going to do that right now. We're going to jump into our marketplace, find some zombie clothing, see if we can't get them looking a little bit ragged, and then I'm going to step out of MetaTailor. I'm going to take a look at Unreal, so stick around if you're interested in that portion of this. So I want to get this character dressed. I've got plenty of stuff in here in my content browser, but I'm specifically going to look for some new stuff. We're going to go over to our marketplace. Our marketplace is an amazing spot. We are uploading it all the time. We're putting new stuff in our marketplace constantly. And if you're a pro user, you get access to this entire library minus a few things. There's only a few things you don't get access to, but you get access to 90% of it. So those few things that you don't get access to is some of these things are created by artists just like yourself. And we got some new logos in here. I'm not seeing any new artists, but I can see we've uploaded some of our logos, which is awesome. So Creative Commons, pro users, you get that. That is just stuff pulled from the webs under a Creative Commons license, so you have access to that. But all of these other ones, you can see Javi 3DMA, Neural AI, Sadie. Sadie is one of our oldest artists, and I mean in the time they've been with MetaTailor, not in their actual age in the real world, but Sadie has been with us for a really long time, and they sell amazing pieces in here. So this stuff that you would have access to, you would have to pay for it. And you'd be paying the artist, you'd be paying the person who created this. Now, if you're interested in more about this, we've got past streams and past videos where we talk about the marketplace and dig into this a little bit deeper. But if you want to become a seller, just look down here. There's a button in the bottom left where you can become a seller, just like our other artists. So let's go ahead and take a look at some clothes, because that's what I came here for. I'm going to go in here. We're going to look at our pro clothes. I know there are some zombie pieces. Specifically, we've uploaded some zombie pieces. I can hover over this and you see the MT logo right here. That means it's a MetaTailor product, and this is available to our pro users. Non-pro users, you don't have access to this, so another amazing reason to jump into pro. All right, so let's go ahead and what do we want this character to look like? We got some bloody farmer, got some bloody camo. Well, that's really creepy right there. Let's go for, I like the Civ polo, the Civ pants. We can throw on these socks. Let's throw on these boots. This mask is really creepy. Got that mask. Oh, look at that. That is horrifying. I don't know if I like that. I'm making this too spooky to stream. Let's throw that shirt that I downloaded. Let's throw those pants on there. Let's see, what else did I download? Did the other ones download? Let's hop over to Marketplace. Type in zombie again. Did those boots, apply those boots. There we go. They're just not showing up right away. All right, so we got some pieces in here. And with our dynamic layering, we get to dictate what's on top, what's underneath. And we can start playing with this. This is where we can start to play with the tools. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. This mask is looking really good. I really like the look of that. I might want it a little bit tighter to the face. So let's bring it in and let's click on this mask and go to our tools. And let's add a little bit of shrink wrap to it. Let's get that a little bit closer to those cheeks. That's looking better. Maybe a little bit more. We can add a little thickness to it. That's looking very good, very spooky. All right, coming down to our shirt. Our shirt is pretty much on top of everything but the boots. I'm just rearranging my dynamic layers over here. Let's take a look at this shirt. It's hanging off the character in a pretty neat way. It's got some transparency, which I think is affecting the pants, but not a big deal. Get a little thickness. Shrink wrap it a little bit. Just get a little bit tighter on the body. He has become emaciated. He didn't wear this shirt when he was emaciated. I like the look of that. All right. There's a new button here that I don't even know. Brand new and came in the update. Haven't even looked at it yet. Uncertain smoothing. That's neat. Maybe if we get a chance, we can mess with that. Bring those pants in. So you can bring those pants in super skinny. But once again, this character wasn't always in thin pants, thin legs like this. But even just that little bit right there is looking better. Might have a little bit of pulling under here where he doesn't have real leg meat. So let's see if we can take that grab and let's sculpt layered. Let's come under here and maybe try to pull some of that over a little bit. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Let's bring to the front. Not much work to do there. Maybe take the smooth tool a little bit. And whenever I'm working with this, I always want a big brush. Big brush. You can see I'm kind of affecting a very large area here by doing this. Any other parts down here I want to affect? No, it's looking pretty good. That looks good. Let's hit confirm. Sometimes the level of detail disappears when we get a little bit closer. Those pants I feel like are too thin. Let's take the shrink wrap out a little bit. Let's add some thickness. Just taking a look at them, I think they're too thin. They're matching the body too much. All right, so now we got an issue with our feet, our shoes. So this is one of those moments where we could take a look at these shoes and be like, all right, what's going wrong with these shoes? So first off, they're not mirrored. I'm always a fan of mirrored shoes over non-mirrored shoes because I can't really affect these in a meaningful way besides grabbing these tools and maybe pulling and pushing some of these as best I can. Even then, I think I'm going to have to go ahead and hit cancel on this tool, and instead let's do our 4x. How about a 2x2 grid? All right, there we go. That affected that shoe a little bit better. All right. Start with like just getting the general shape of those into place. So yeah, this is a limitation with the shoes, less so the feet. Let's grab a 3x3 grid. Nope, let's do a 4x4 grid. There we go. That way I can kind of get inside here. That's kind of what I'm looking for. And pull that out. You can see I missed one right. Let's come underneath here. Let's hit reset. Reset. There we go. Let's hit 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll grab these two middle ones too. I'll come in here and I'll really try to get that. That's looking better. We're pulling a little bit too far on this joint right here. So let's take just you and pull you back a little bit. That's looking okay. I could take some of these on the outside here, kind of pull that in a little bit. So I'm using this grid. This grid, I think, is an underused, undervalued tool. I don't know if everybody knows that this grid is here, but you can see I can come in and I got a lot more customization and kind of just general overflow changes that I can do with this guy. That may not be, like you saw with my grab brush, I wasn't really able to get as good of a movement with my grab brush in this. So for some reason, this joint right there is getting like some double movement on it, but that's okay. All right. That's looking a little bit better. I want to take this toe right here and move that out. Don't know why. I really don't know why this back heel is still selected. There's some sort of bug going on. I'll have to look into a little bit more. Let's hit confirm. Get these shoes on here. There they are. So a little bit better. Now we can kind of come in maybe with that grab tool again and maybe make some more specific changes. Like kind of pulling this part out right there. Pushing that heel in a little bit more. Pushing this side in a little bit more. Stuff that is a little bit more nuanced than what the grid tool was letting me do. Push pull. Just gonna put this other way. Hold down shift to reverse it. Maybe shrink wrap right there. Just trying some different tools to see. Okay, so shrink wrap worked well. Get that heel in right there. Just kind of clean that up a little bit. And grab our smooth tool. Nice broad smooth, strong smooth. Just touching up some of this stuff in here. Kind of cleaning up some of my big changes, big mistakes. Grab that grab tool. Just kind of shift that toe back a little bit. Confirm. Let's see how that looks. Zoom out a little bit better. So yeah, a little bit better. A little bit nicer. With a better pair of shoes and a little bit more time, I'd probably get a little bit better fit to them. I would probably swap out these shoes, but I just wanted to see these shoes in action. So let's bring our pants back in. Let's bring our polo back in, and let's bring our camo mask back in. All right, so we got a pretty well-dressed zombie. Let's hop over to our viewport, and let's go ahead and get like a simple idle. That's looking really good. Running. Climbing up. That's creepy. Falling. So the reason why these animations are working so well on this character is because of that Mixamo rig, because these are the Mixamo animations, so they work flawlessly with this rig. Yeah, so those are some options instead of chopping off the feet in Maya or hide in CC5. You can also hide the feet if you click on the actual avatar itself. Get to the actual avatar itself. We've got a visibility brush, and if you use the visibility brush, like I could hide the hand or stuff like that, and there's elements you want to hide, that works really well with high heels to hide the feet and chop off the feet, because that way the heels can move properly, because right now there's no way to bend the foot in MetaTailor to get a high heel, to kind of jack that heel up and the toes down, to walk on your tiptoes. We don't have that option in MetaTailor. So if you've got a character with high heels or any kind of boot with a heel to it, sometimes it's easier just to erase the foot and have that in the boot itself. So to show you all some more power of MetaTailor, let's go to our content browser. I've got all this in here. We were messing with our Rumi fit and our Zoe fit and stuff like that last week. Let's just go ahead and apply the Mira fit. I can clear the zombie right now. And you can see just by clicking on that, we can get this character into a completely different outfit with a simple click. Simple click, and that's ready to go. It'll need some cleanup. I'll need to kind of shrink wrap these boots and stuff like that, make some other changes, but look at that. Amazing. Close out of this. I'll keep the hair. And let's go ahead and throw that zombie fit back on. Rearranging my dynamic layers. There he is. And let's say, well, it didn't save some of our changes because we were messing around with it. But let's say you wanted to kind of create this and make your own assembly. I want to be able to come back to this. I don't want to have to lose it and do all the individual pieces. You can do that down here with this little kind of group icon. There's this folder icon here down here in the bottom left. I can click on that and it creates a new assembly. I'm gonna call this we call this zombie sieve. Call this our zombie sieve right there. And I can drag the pieces I want to be part of the zombie sieve. Of course, not Mira's hair. I can drag those pieces into here. And I can drop the hair on top of that, so the hair is not being affected by the shirt. And now I've got the zombie sieve. Now it exists in this project, but if I wanted to, I could save this, and now the zombie sieve will start showing up in my assemblies and groups. So there's zombie camo, zombie sieve. Let's go ahead and give it a quick refresh, recent downloads. There's that one, assemblies and groups. Date added, ascending, descending. It'll show up in there probably when I step out and step back in again. Yeah, once I hit save, it is now in there. Because that's how I made my Zoe, my Mira, and my Rumi fits. I just hit save once this is ready to go in here. Maybe I got to save the whole thing. But it'll start showing up in my assembly groups, and then I'll have this outfit ready to go whenever I need it. We had some great questions on the Discord earlier this week, earlier today, about having outfits and being able to have like 14 or 15 outfits on your character. This is an easy way to do that. This is an easy way to capture that by creating assemblies and just having them in your content browser ready to flip back and forth and get ready. All right, let's talk about another way that this is really cool. We can go to our avatars. We've got this whole outfit. Let's say I wanted to attach this to this Dobby character that we were playing with 3 weeks ago. I just have to click on a button. Still bloody, still has the pink hair, but it's going to apply it to a completely different shaped character. Shrunken down, tiny. Shoes fit better because this goblin's feet are huge. But there you go. Let's clear the hair. It's fun. It's funny. We got this bloodied outfit. Now we've got this goblin character, completely different looking character, completely different style. We can take this over. We can change it again to one of our larger characters. I've got the Hulk. I've got the Demogorgon. But I got this Boris character from a couple streams ago. I think that was 3-4 streams ago. But just look how easy it is to flip from character to character to character. Same outfit, same idea. It's adding the zombie sieve to each one. Let's back it out and hit don't save. Let's try that again. Looks like it bugged out briefly. Didn't like Boris as much, but let's go to, probably because we're jumping from avatar to avatar to avatar. I got larger, but I wanted Boris. Let's see what's going on with Boris. If it doesn't work again, then that tells me something's wrong with my Boris avatar. He got corrupted at some point or another. There he goes. There's his head. There's his clothes. And look, it works on a giant character. Not giant. I shouldn't say giant. He's about the same size as me. But it works on a big character as well. Giant compared to that goblin. A lot more mass compared to the zombie. And it just works. That's my slogan for MetaTailor. On all these live streams, it just works. So you can see there's a couple things we'd have to touch up. You can see his chest is kind of popping through a little bit. That's a simple fix with thickness. Just add a little thickness and it's going to clear those up. Down here, it's supposed to be. That's more of a rip, tear, transparency. But up here in the chest, you can see there's a couple spots sticking through. That's something you'd clean up with the thickness. It's taking a while on Boris, and I think we had some of the hiccups on Boris because Boris has blend shapes. MetaTailor does support blend shapes, but because he's a metahuman, Boris has a ton of blend shapes. So I think that's the reason why it's struggling a little bit. You can see there's a whole bunch of heads. So here's all the blend shapes for Boris's head. So that's why it's struggling a little bit. I thought Boris was the cleaner one, but I think I mixed up Boris with larger live. Or Boris metahuman. No, I think I probably should have gone for the larger live. I think I mixed those two up in my head. But yeah, so there's Boris ready to go in that outfit. Now you've got all this set. You've gone in, you've created your character, you've got everything that you're happy with. How do you export this out? Let's see, where is my zombie? Let's bring our zombie back. There he is. So there's two ways to do it. Using the newest version of MetaTailor, the beta version, you can use the MetaTailor bridge, which lets you seamlessly jump back and forth between Character Creator 4 or 5 and or Unreal Engine. We could play with that with Unreal Engine. But what about us who don't have that? Or what if we want to take this somewhere else that isn't Unreal, like Unity or something like that? Well, to do that, you would have to go into your export tab and we just export it out as a normal FBX. And you have some choices in here. This is how I got the avatar kind of ready to go, tested it through Unreal on the first pass through. So this is if you don't have the MetaTailor bridge or if you need to take it somewhere else, this would be the steps you'd want to tackle to get the character that you're happy with out of MetaTailor. So you can see my name is Zombie MT for MetaTailor. I've got my custom options right here. I'm setting it as an FBX, making my textures a PNG. That means it's going to take all those clothes. I can scale it up by 100 times if I need to. You can choose if you want to bring your avatar, your clothes, your skin weights, some clean bones. You can change your vertex colors, include proxies if you're using physics. You can bake cloth vertex colors to texture. And if you're using Unreal 5.5, you absolutely have to hit this checkbox. It's going to fix the rotation issue because Unreal 5.5 had a little weird rotation bug. So MetaTailor had to go back in and fix our system to make Unreal work well because Unreal never fixed that bug. But there we go. And then you just hit export and it's going to create a folder. You can see it's creating a folder right there on my desktop. And it opens it up for me. There's my Zombie MT FBX, and here's all the textures. Pants, shirt, all that other information right there. Roughness, normal. So you can then take this and export that or bring this into Unreal or anything that you need to do. So that is one way to do that. Another really cool thing you can do shifting perspective, shifting what we're doing. I'm going to come back to my design. I'm going to hit my save. This is called Zombie MT. I'm going to go back home. I'm going to land on my home page here. So that's one way to kind of work day in the life, work bringing in an avatar, getting it closed, getting into MetaTailor, out of MetaTailor. There's another way to tackle this using the MetaTailor bridge that I think could be even a little easier than what we just did. What we did took 30 minutes of me talking and messing around and playing with it. Less time. I think this would take less time to tackle it this way, besides the fact that you have to upload it into Unreal first. But a lot of you already have your avatars in Unreal. I realized a lot of you are probably starting in Unreal. You've got your character ready to go in Unreal and you want to do stuff to the character. You want to get this character dressed. I've got a naked zombie in Unreal. I want to start building a closet for this zombie in Unreal. So in order to do that, you can see I've got my zombie right here. We need to send this character over to MetaTailor. So I'm going to open up the blueprint. Oops, wrong blueprint. Where'd you go? Parent class character, that's fine, that's fine. Where is, no, that was right. I just didn't have my viewport because I see you got zoomed way over here. There we go. That's what I was expecting. I don't know why that got, or no, still not right. Why are you taking over? Oh, well. Doesn't matter. This is the viewport, class settings, class default. You should be able to see the character in the viewport. He's just not showing up for some reason. But you can see right here, we've got our MetaTailor options. I can send to MetaTailor and receive from MetaTailor. I've got the plugin turned in on Maya. Sorry, not Maya, Unreal. To make sure you have your plugin turned on Unreal, you want to make sure you go to your plugins, edit plugins, and in here you want to make sure you have it turned on in here. MetaTailor bridge checked. And the other thing you want to check to make sure that yours is working on your MetaTailor is to go into MetaTailor, go to your bridge, and you can hit add to project right here. And then you just select the project that you're working in and hit add to project and do that. If you're interested in these steps, if you want to learn more about how to set this up, that was a previous live stream. That was a previous video. Like I said, I want to focus more on the day in the life, how you're doing it. So all these steps, you can go back and watch our past videos and figure out how to set this all up to be as seamless as mine is. But you can see hit add to project and make sure that's turned on right here. All right, then we can go home. Go back to Unreal. Go back to our Unreal zombie. Well, we can close that plugin window because we're done with that plugin window. Close that plugin window. All right, so then we just want to send the whole zombie over to MetaTailor. So I hit send to MetaTailor. And it says listening from MetaTailor. Once you see that, you know it's ready to go. I can minimize these two. And MetaTailor's like, all right, hey, we're getting an avatar sent over from Unreal. Now, in all our previous videos, we've done this with a metahuman. This is our first time doing a non-metahuman avatar from Unreal into MetaTailor. So I'm going to call this Zombie UR. Our last one was Zombie MT for MetaTailor. This one's Zombie UR. And look, it's uploaded it and it's done all the textures for me. I don't have to do that extra step. It's called Untitled, so I just have to call this Zombie UR. It's going to be identical to the other one, but this is how easy it is to send an avatar you already have in Unreal over to MetaTailor to get dressed. Then I'll go ahead and hit next step. We can check those up. The mesh extractor, I have no meshes. We can check all of this information again, make sure Unreal has everything positioned right. The toes are doing okay. This is kind of the same exact, like it's all the same thing. This is technically from my first Mixamo render. But everything is looking good, so all I have to do is hit next step. And look, successfully imported avatar from MetaTailor Bridge from Unreal. So now let's get him in a different outfit. Let's get him in something completely different. We were messing with the roomy stuff and all that stuff, but this is a different character. Let's go to our marketplace again. And let's look at full outfits. Let's look at something we've got in here. We've got this cyberpunk one that's pretty neat. Zombie cowboy pack. That one's, let's do the zombie cowboy pack. I don't even need to think twice. I'm going to download that zombie cowboy pack and we'll get this applied to our character. We've got zombie archers, civs, survivor, last stand, nurse, farmers, bikers. We got a whole bunch of zombie options. Wasteland scavenger. You could do something like that. But look at all these outfits while this is downloading. These are all available. MetaTailor, MetaTailor, MetaTailor. These are all available as a pro user. And these are just the full sets. The clothes themselves, there's so much more on top of this that isn't part of a set. We've got shirts and pants that just kind of, you can mix and match and do whatever you want to with it. So it's almost done downloading. Let's get this on our character and hit apply. It's going to put all this on for us. That looks pretty good right out the gate. I think one of the only things I'll do is I might shrink wrap some of these pants a little bit. Bring them down a little bit. Boots, not too bad. Some of the similar issues, but let's shrink wrap them a little bit. See, your toes are peeking out right there. Ooh, too much shrink wrap. I didn't want that much shrink wrap. In fact, the shrink wrap brush might be better. There we go. Just grab out this teeny tiny little toe right there. All right, we got this character ready to go. He's all set. So now we want to send it back to Unreal. We've taken it out of Unreal, brought it into here. When I send it back to Unreal, we can go over to our export again. And this time, instead of hitting export and re-uploading it into Unreal that way, we can just send this over to Unreal with this button. Before we do that, let's make sure Unreal is listening. We can do that by coming back into here and back into, we can see right here, it says it's listening for MetaTailor. And I want to figure out why I can't see I can't see the actual character in here. Blueprint. This is where my knowledge of Unreal slips a little bit. Show tabs. Yeah, we can see it's we get receive from MetaTailor to make sure it says listening down there. That's the main thing I'm kind of looking for, is this says listening from MetaTailor down here. And then once it's listening, send outfit to Unreal. It's going to send the whole thing over. It's going to get our character dressed. Unreal is importing it right now. All those different pieces, all those different pieces. No smoothing groups, that's fine. Close out of that. And look, textures, everything ready to go in Unreal right there with just 2 clicks of the button. There's my viewport. Oh, you're the same thing. You're the same thing. Why can't I find my blue port in here? There it is. There it is. So yeah, there's our whole character. You can see your outfit right there. MetaTailor close. Got the whole outfit in there. Open my content browser. You can see I did this earlier with one of my other options. So if I wanted to flip this out, I could then delete this, open my content browser, and put it back on. There it is. I have outfits ready to go. I can choose which outfit is there. Don't want this outfit anymore. Take this outfit, delete it off. Let's go get another outfit. Let's flip over to MetaTailor. We're done with our zombie cowboy. Let's get out of export, go over to design, clear the zombie cowboy. Let's find something else. Let's go to my assemblies and groups. We have the mirror. We've got the zombie. Let's go ahead and do the bloody nurse. It's a male zombie. So maybe it'll look more like a doctor. Let's go back. Cancel. There it goes. I'm just going to lose the props. Sometimes the props take a little bit of work. I don't want to spend too much time on the props here. I just want to bring over the scrubs and everything right there. All right. Zombie's all set. Do we have a mask? Let's go ahead and let's take a look at Marketplace. Do we have a mask? Something to kind of add to this? Let's type in the word mask. Let's see what masks we have. Any kind of doctor's masks? The tech mask is kind of a doctor's mask. We can throw that on there. I got two different ones on here, but with that, let's throw this one on there. Grab tool. Just get this, make it a little bit smaller. A little bit bigger. There we go. Shrink wrap it. Oh, it's clipping through the mouth right there, but I kind of really like the look of that. I'll try to undo that. I did like the look of that, though. Give it a little bit more thickness. Less yield. Let's take the shrink wrap brush. Let's take a look at that. Might do a couple more tweaks here on this mask. I'm trying to force it to kind of clip into the head right here. It doesn't want to. Keep trying to tailor its way out, which makes sense. It's trying not to clip on anything, which is its overall goal. But I'm trying to force it to clip a little bit. All right, so that's not too bad. Let's send it over. Back to export. Let's make sure Unreal is listening, because sometimes Unreal stops listening. Receive from MetaTailor. Listening to MetaTailor. Go back over to MetaTailor. Send outfit to Unreal. Right now, the send avatar to Unreal doesn't work. That's okay. Minimize this. It's adding it all there. So you have to send Unreal when the updates, you have to send it Unreal. Yeah, if you do updates, you want to resend that to Unreal. You want to resend those updates over. There's not a live link between the two. I mean, it's pretty dang close to a live link, but if I was to go in and change this, I would have to resend that over. So I'm using the MetaTailor mouse commands, not the Unreal mouse commands. And now that's in our content browser. There it is. We got zombie nurse, zombie cowboy, Rumi. Close out of this character. Did we forget to take Rumi off? I didn't forget to take Rumi off. Why did you forget to take Rumi off? There he is. So if you're looking to have a bunch of avatars, bunch of characters, bunch of clothes, getting the pro version, getting the beta version of this Unreal plugin is fantastic. Look how quickly I was able to get 2 separate zombie outfits in here. The longest it took me out of that was getting this kind of mask that wasn't designed for an emaciated zombie head onto a zombie. The actual importing and exporting took minutes. Or not minutes, seconds, less than. So it's super easy. It's a super powerful tool, our Unreal Engine plugin, and I highly recommend it. Lots of customization. You get all the different outfits that you could ever possibly want. Sitting right there. And then if I wanted to change it, I just have to find the MetaTailor close, delete them, open my content browser, put the cowboy back on, Get rid of the cowboy. And upload new clothes. So I got a little bit of time. I got 10 minutes left. It took a little bit quicker than I wanted to, but that's okay. That's how fast all this was. Let's go ahead and find some. Let's show some physics off. Let me find one of my favorite outfits. A Roman centurion, and I even had a different one. Where are you? Call them pants. Let's find it. Let's find my Roman centurion and find one we uploaded a long time ago. I like it because it's got some really nice. They call it a skirt. Let's find out. I call it Roman armor, I believe. Right to that task. That's really cool. All right, so let's grab the Roman armor. And then I'll go across all my stuff here. Type in the word Roman. So there's the centurion, and here's the pieces that I uploaded a long time ago. I think these are the ones. Now I can't remember. No, I don't think so anymore. Look at the storytelling behind this. Just it tells so much with such a simple avatar and clothing change. We went from a cowboy to a Roman. What would this Roman be in? Why would he be here? Is he truly this old? Is he from Pompeii? Is he a zombie from Pompeii? Or is this something completely different? Was this somebody who was just in a theater production when the world ended? All right, so I wanted to show you physics. So let's jump over to physics. Let's grab our Roman cape right here. MetaTailor has built-in physics. MetaTailor's physics are better than like a lot of the other physics engines that are out there. So we're going to start by auto-generating parameters. And once you auto-generate those parameters, then you can go in and let's say we want a, just want a simple walk. The auto-generate parameters are amazing. I don't feel like I need to do much more to that. But if I wanted to, I can go into manually paint and go into my paint blending and take a look at this and say, hey, I want this to be a little bit looser. I want this to be a little less weighted. I want it to be moving more. And you get some really great secondary action in here with that. Let's say I wanted to say, oh, wait, no, I don't want this moving as much where it's pinned to. Let's take this and let's darken that. That really pins to the body like that. So what's the better pipeline? CC5 to Maya or Blender to MetaTailor, then Maya to UE5 or CC5 to MetaTailor to UE5 because of the physics? So you can use the physics in MetaTailor in these programs. You would just have to export out like the physics maps and stuff like that. They don't transfer automatically. But let's say, so you're looking for a pipeline. What would my honest to goodness pipeline would be? Well, if I created a character in something like ZBrush or Maya, I'd probably start there. If I downloaded it from the web, if you go back to our past live streams, you see me doing this every now and then. Sometimes I like to just double check it in Maya, make sure the clothing's good in Maya and stuff like that, or whatever your DCC is, whatever you want to use. That would probably be one of the first places I would go, is just check it in Maya. I'm not doing any changes in Maya unless I'm actually building something. And then once that's all ready and I like it, I bring it over to MetaTailor. Now that depends on if you're importing clothing or avatars. If it's an avatar, I probably throw it into Mixamo real quick, just like I did this, so I could test my animations on it. Even if it already has a rig, I'm a rigger by trade. I've deleted the rigs off my avatars just to throw them into Mixamo so I could see how it looks in MetaTailor, to get these animations in MetaTailor and stuff like that. So that might be another internal part of the pipeline, or one step of that pipeline. Once I've got my avatar and my clothes in MetaTailor, I can go directly over to Unreal Engine 5 or whatever I need to. I don't need to find a middleman in between that. So I go from my DCC to MetaTailor to my actual finished program, my engine, wherever I want to put it. So that's kind of my pipeline. I'm a Maya guy, but CC5 is great, but limited. Dude, I'm a rigger. Look at that. Awesome. Rigger fist punch. Yeah, I'm a Maya guy. I teach rigging at a collegiate level, but I still use Mixamo. I still use MetaTailor. CC5 is really cool. They've got really cool characters. And if you're using CC5, not to keep touting our past streams, we have streams dedicated to where I take a character out of CC5, bring it into MetaTailor, put it back into CC5. So MetaTailor really is that kind of hidden middle piece, or that missing middle piece that we've been missing for so long to connect all these programs. To be able to take stuff out of, like you said earlier, Marvelous Designer or ZBrush and get it onto a character from Maya, Blender, or the web, and then being able to send that over to Unreal ready to go. So really great questions, but that would be my pipeline. MetaTailor is kind of my middle essential keystone piece from getting this ready to go, getting the characters dressed and into Unreal or Unity or wherever you're going. Yeah, that's why I use Maya. It's what I know. It's what I've been using for, it's 2025. Not quite 20 years. A little bit less than 20 years. I used Maya way, like early days of Maya, like Maya 5. I can't even remember the first Maya I used, but I used it a long time ago. Look at that. Look at that beautiful physics on that cape. That was what I wanted to pop back and show everybody. And then if I wanted to, back to design, go back to export. We still have it open. We always got to make sure it's listening because I don't think it's listening. Open up our blueprint. Receive from MetaTailor. Send it over to Unreal. And once again, if you don't have this plugin, if you don't have the bridge, you can always export it out just like this and get this over into Unreal as well. You just have to do a couple extra steps. And we've got videos on that. We've got videos on how to get a character. It's focusing on metahumans. We've done a lot of work with metahumans. Metahumans work fantastic in MetaTailor and stuff like that. I wanted to show a different avatar because we've got a lot of videos on metahumans. So I wanted to show just an avatar, the zombies off of Sketchfab. Very low poly, very cheap, easy to run. And I got that over to Unreal so simply, so easy. And there he is. Let's take a look at him in our scene. Gotta delete him and I gotta delete him and re-upload him. I don't know why it's doing that. There he is. Awesome, 23 years. Yeah, with the same person. It's amazing. All right, I'm going to close that Unreal. I'm not going to save any of that. All right, well, thank you all so much. That's all I've got for you tonight. Day in life, showing a pipeline. Fantastic questions from Ishmael. Thank you so much. If you've got issues with your shoes and stuff like that, please don't hesitate to throw it into the support channel or reach out to me personally. I'm always happy to take a look at it and answer any questions that I can answer. But that is it for tonight. Thank you all for sticking with us, joining us here as we play with these avatars, looked at the behind the scenes. Join us next week. We're going to find out something new. We're going to play with something new. Or do something similar to this, new characters, new avatars, new outfits, but join us next week for our last edition of Behind the Seams. Maybe we'll be announcing something cool or taking a look at what we have in our own pipeline here at MetaTailor, so stick around for that. As always, if you like videos like this one, make sure to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us wherever you can. Join us on our Discord channel. I'm going to link that Discord invite one more time into the chat for anybody who wants to join us on our Discord channel. Invite people, copy, and paste. join us on our Discord. It's an amazing place. Great support. Fantastic. We're awake all the time. We're across different time zones, and we're awake all the time to try to answer your questions. If we see something, if I see something I can answer, I hop in there and I try to answer it as fast as I can. Otherwise, we've got our devs in there and stuff like that to answer those questions. That's where we announce new and upcoming things. Our Discord is kind of the hub for all news MetaTailor related. So join us on Discord, pop in, say hi, show us your cool creations. But otherwise, that is it for tonight, everybody. Once again, thank you so much. Go get your costumes, go get your zombies, go get dressed. I'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.